Do you like music?
Yeah.
Do you know anybody in any of the radio stations in Memphis?
I can ask around.
Because we have a game. It was something I created about 20 years ago. It's a game you play on the phone, and it's music, and you call into a toll-free number that is a specific radio station. We assign them a toll-free number. When somebody calls into that number, it's a game where you name the artist who performs a particular piece of music. Now, this can be any kind of radio station, any format, any language. It doesn't matter. In fact, it doesn't even have to be music. It could be news. But the game is kind of like, and I'm not going to ask how old you are, but when I was a child, there was a show on TV called Name That Tune.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if you ever heard of it, but don't.
Yeah,
I was going to say don't admit it if you had. Okay. Well, anyway, that was like you name the song, and they would win prizes. Did you ever see it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's kind of what gave me the idea, except instead of naming the song, we're having people name the group or the artist. So if it's Lady Madonna, we know that's the Beatles.
Yeah.
Hopefully the person playing the game knows it's the Beatles. This is a game that you pay to play.
We soothe the savage beast.
A lot of stuff like that, if it's not done exactly the right way, it could be gambling. But this is not gambling. This game, Money Melodies, if you know the answer, you win. That's it. There is no chance involved. Either you know it or you don't know it. If you don't know it, well, we actually tell the player the answer. So if you didn't know that was the Beatles, TB and the pound sign, like you press on your phone. That's how you play the game. If you don't know it, then we tell you the correct answer. So it's still not gambling.
No, that's not.
All right. So we need people to talk to radio stations about this. The people who play the game have to pay to play. It's not expensive, but for $5, they buy 2 games for $2 each, and we leave $1 in their account so that they don't have to keep bringing out their credit card. We've perfected the game to the point where it can be music, it can be news, it can be sports, it can be just straight trivia. Okay, who are the 2 candidates for the President of the United States? That's a good trivia question. You know how many people don't know the answer to that? I mean, it's a little scary. Yeah, that's right. A lot of people don't know. But we don't make any more money if someone wins or loses. We always make the same amount of money. So there's no incentive for us to make this hard. In fact, there's incentive for us to make it really, really, really easy so people will play all the time.
That's true.
Yeah. And so when I created this, we first tested it in Hartford, Connecticut, on a radio station there called WCCC. And it's kind of headbanger rock. It doesn't matter what it is because they've got their audience. And all the songs for the toll-free number we assigned to them were all in their playlist. And then at the end of songs, if you go to MoneyMelodies.com, what's on that website, you'll see a bunch of stuff that we did with WCCC when we tested it with them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
To Toyota Financial Services. Offers on 05 models. Offers end 1/31/05.
The Rock 106.9 WCCC. Good morning, 7:15. It is the Howard Stern Show. And it's brought to you in part this morning by Money Melodies. You listen to a song, you name the artist, and you win cash. It's that simple. Every correct answer to Money Melodies games can be heard right here on WCCC. So pick up your Money Melodies game cards. They're available at Matt's Golf, Willard Avenue in Newington.
There's breaking music news coming over the wire.
Hurry, get it on the air.
We go live in 3, 2, 1.
Now, from the rock news capital of the world.
It's the WCCC.
Music.
It's always so exciting. The WCCC Music Minute this afternoon is sponsored by Money Melodies. Know the artist? Win cash. Play Money Melodies today. First off in the Music Minute is Motley Crue.
We're looking for people who are bold enough to make the calls to the radio stations. You can call any radio station you want. It's not just the ones in your area, but the ones in your area are a little bit easier because you know local places and things, and you know what's going on in Memphis. So you can call anybody you want, and what we do is we give you a reseller agreement so that anybody you get who wants to do this, we do all the work, of course, but anybody who wants to do this... Oh, wait, can I demonstrate it for you? Would you mind?
No, go ahead.
Okay, because we're going to do a three-way call here. Let me make sure I've got the right number handy, because you accidentally disclosed how old you might be. Hang on, but I'm still older than you, so don't worry about it. Okay, so MoneyMelodies.com is where you would go, and one of the numbers is the one I'm going to call is 877-287-5160. It's right on the website, and it's also available in Spanish, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's a market we could break into. But stand by. I'm going to do a three-way call into the system, okay?
Okay.
All right, hang on. Okay.
Welcome to Money Melodies, sponsored by Voicemail Central's personal privacy service. Just give out your PPS number and keep your personal numbers private. To learn more, visit voicemailcentral.net. To play a free demo game, just enter 123-456-7890 and the pound sign instead of a card number.
That's what the radio station gets, is that ad, and they can sell that to their advertisers.
Pound sign now.
All right, hang on.
Press pound to skip this message. After you hear the song, enter the exact abbreviation of the performer or ensemble's name by pressing the keys on your phone, which contain the first letters of each word in the name, followed by the pound sign. For example, the Beatles, TB, is 82 pound sign. Be careful, the Led Zeppelin would not be correct. Are you ready? Here we go.
Do I stress you out? My sweater's on backwards and inside out, and you say, how appropriate. I don't expect everything today. I don't mean to pick you apart, you see, but I can't.
Enter your answer, followed by the pound sign, now.
I'm going to deliberately not know that. That's Alanis Morissette, but I'm going to have you hear what happens.
Better luck
See,
next
I didn't
time.
know the answer.
The correct artist or ensemble was Alanis Morissette. Please enter a 16-digit Money Melodies game card number or a MasterCard, Visa.
I was struggling to remember it. Here's another one.
Press pound to skip this message.
We don't need to hear the message again, right?
Enter the exact...
Okay.
Are you ready?
They were pretty clear.
Here we go. Enter your answer, followed by the pound sign, now.
Who is that?
I know the song. I just...
Boy, do I, too. This one I actually can't remember, so...
Well, better luck next time. The correct artist or ensemble was Donna Summer.
Oh, Donna Summer.
For a 16-digit Money Melodies game.
No, one more.
Or a MasterCard.
I know who that was, too. I just didn't put her name on my tongue.
Yep.
Please enter a 16-digit Money Melodies game. Press pound to skip this message. Are you ready? Here we go.
Little ditty about Jack and Diane, two American kids growing up in the heartland. Jackie's gonna be a football star.
Yeah, I heard it a million times.
Enter your answer, followed by the pound sign.
Oh, well.
You can't remember either.
No, I can't.
Well, better luck next time. The correct artist or ensemble was John Cougar.
John Cougar Mellencamp, yeah?
Money Melodies.
John Cougar's his real name.
It comes to your mind once they start getting ready to say their name.
Yeah. You see the difference with the real game and what we just did? Is that's going to be on the radio station that the people hear about this from. And when they play that song, at the end of it, the disc jockey's going to say, you know, that was John Cougar, the correct answer for Money Melodies. J, C, and the pound sign. Call 888-757-3777 to play a game of Money Melodies right now.
That's Aerosmith here on Supertracks. A and the pound sign is the correct answer for Money Melodies. Call 1-877-287-5160 and play a game of Money Melodies right now.
It's amazing how much has come from just 7 little notes. I'm Jay Davis, and you're listening to Supertracks.
That's Mariah Carey here on Supertracks. MC and the pound sign is the correct answer for Money Melodies. Call 1-877-287-5160 and play a game of Money Melodies right now. That was Bee Gees on Supertracks. BG and the pound sign is the correct answer for Money Melodies. Call 1-877-287-5160 and play a game of Money Melodies right now.
All Supertracks have 4 things in common. They're great compositions, they're great productions, they rise above the limits of their musical styles, and above all else, they're timeless. Supertracks is a production of Secure 800.
That's Led Zeppelin, LZ and the pound sign, and that's a correct answer for Money Melodies, LZ and the pound sign. Call 877-287-5160 to play a game of Money Melodies right now. Whitney Houston on Supertracks. WH and the pound sign is the correct answer for Money Melodies. Call 1-877-287-5160 and play a game of Money Melodies right now.
More heart, more soul, pure genius. You're listening to the greatest music ever recorded. You're listening to Supertracks.
Guns N' Roses on Supertracks. GAR and the pound sign is the correct answer for Money Melodies. Call 1-877-287-5160 and play a game of Money Melodies right now. That's Creed here on Supertracks. C and the pound sign is the correct answer for Money Melodies. Call 1-877-287-5160 and play a game of Money Melodies right now.
Hot summer days, cold winter nights, and every day in between, you'll find us playing the greatest music ever recorded. You're listening to Supertracks.
Let me tell you how it will be.
That's the Beatles here on Supertracks. TB and the pound sign is the correct answer for Money Melodies. Call 1-877-287-5160 and play a game of Money Melodies right now. The Byrds here on Supertracks. TB and the pound sign is the correct answer for Money Melodies. Call 1-877-287-5160 and play a game of Money Melodies right now.
Okay. Now, they can either record that onto the end of the track, or they can do it live. And when you go to the Money Melodies website, you'll hear examples of them doing it live. So you and I don't have to, have to remember anything very much because they're going to tell you all the right answers on the air.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. So there's 3 parts to this. The first part is let's take it from the radio station on down, okay? The radio station, they agree to do this. They need to understand that the whole point of this is to get and keep listeners, because that's the biggest problem they have. Don't forget, radio stations are in the advertising business, and if nobody goes into the advertiser's locations, they lose the advertiser. That's why I created it, because I was in radio at that point, and I could see radio starting to collapse thanks to this thing called the Internet.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the problem they have, and that's why they need this, and that's why all the radio stations are owned like by 10 companies or something now. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but not by too much. Yeah. So because they had to get together, or they were just going to, and they cannot go out of business because they're mandated by the government to stay in business for a certain period of time. Otherwise, they can't get a radio station license. So that's the secret information you need to know and have in your head if you talk to somebody. They need this. They may think they're smarter than you, but they're not. They need this, and they just have to talk to somebody to get permission to do this on the air. And there's very little they have to do. They don't have to really do anything much. Every once in a while, they have to say, who the artist is, and that the correct answer for Money Melodies is thus and so. Okay? You know something, and you don't need to really discuss it with them because they're embarrassed about it. But the fact is that they've got a problem, and this is a solution. Part 2 is how much money did they make? Because that's all they care about is making money. They've got to make money, or they're going to go out of business. They'll be bought up by one of those big companies.
Yeah.
So the money they make is that first commercial in there. This is sponsored by Voicemail Central, and they sell that to their advertisers. That's their part of this.
That's what they're going to make money off of.
That's right, and they could charge an advertiser $5,000 or $10,000 a month. It's brand new revenue that they're not going to get from anywhere else, and they don't have to have people come into the store to show the advertiser that it's actually working.
Okay.
It's not stuff on the air. If we get a radio station in Memphis to promote just that minimal amount, they will be playing 10 or 20,000 games a week. And that means that advertiser is going to be heard 10 or 20,000 times a week. They can't do that on the air.
They sure can.
Right? I mean, there isn't enough time to do it. This way, because this is all in parallel. In other words, I could have 1,000 games being played at the same time in Memphis. You can only have one ad played on the air at once. That's not parallel. That's serial, one after the other. All these things could be hitting 1,000 different people at the same time. A private commercial that's being played just to them while they're getting ready and they're listening closely to play the game. There's nothing better than that. Getting someone who's listening to radio to listen closely to a commercial. So now you got the 2 of the 3 components. You got the secret information in the background about what the radio stations really need, and I know that because I'm one of them.
Okay.
Now you know. And be careful how you use that information. I don't have that on the website because I don't want them tripping across the fact that we know this.
Yeah.
Because that's our secret weapon. And then part 3 is the end user, the customer who plays the game. They just need a valid credit card or debit card, and they can play the game. The first time they come in, they don't have to sign up or anything. It's just their card number and their expiration date. It's just a regular credit card or debit card charge, and we take $5. $1 stays in the account so that they don't have to keep entering their credit card number again, and then they have 2 games they can play, $2 each. $1 goes to us. The other $1 goes into the prize. Now, here's what you need to know. This is what makes it a little mind-boggling. That $1 goes into only one prize. There's only one prize out there. There's not a prize for each radio station. There's only one prize nationally.
That's normal.
Oh, no.
I understand that.
But imagine how much money it could be.
It could be a lot.
It could be tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars even.
Yeah.
For $2 play.
Yeah. Because all the people that's playing.
Yeah, all at the same time, because as soon as they start playing a game, that dollar goes into the prize.
Yeah. Just like the other people that's hitting here and there, hitting there, and that one hitting there. And
what happened to us? We missed 3 answers right in a row.
Yeah.
Now, the average is only 1/3. So, in other words, 1/3 of the game's played based on getting the correct information from the radio station. 1/3 of those people will miss it. I mean,
that's people that sit and listen to the radio. They know that they be into the radio and paying attention, and
yep,
they music buffs. They know all that.
And even when the radio station disc jockey says, you know, that was Wang Chung, WC, and the pound sign is the correct answer for Money Melodies. Call 1-888-757-3777. Play a game of Money Melodies right now. Wang Chung. I mean, pop music, you know. It could be any format. And it's funny because I was sales manager for the first KISS FM in New York, which was urban contemporary, hip-hop, R&B, and I used to know everything. It's been a long time. That was 1981 and 2 when I was there. You forget after 20 years. The essence is that it can be any format. And like I said, it doesn't even have to be music. It could be sports.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could be news. It could be
something they know they're into.
Yeah.
They know that should know that.
And they can move around from one radio station to another as long as they know the toll-free number for each radio station. They can play rock, they can play hip-hop, they can play jazz, they can play classical. They can move around. They don't have to be stuck with one radio station. That forces these people to listen to radio. And they're not listening to radio all the time right now. They're on the Internet.
Yeah. That's what a lot of people do. They hit the Internet, and I don't hardly be on the Internet. Unless I'm talking to my son or something, because he's in Japan.
You know, the truth is that even Internet radio stations, that's the guy I'm waiting to have him call me back. He runs an Internet radio station.
Okay.
Okay, and he's got a format, and it's country western, and it's sports combined. And
that's cool.
Yeah, and
it sounds good.
It actually does. It sounds like I'd want to listen to it. Yeah, but they can create the questions or the name from anything, and they just have to figure out how to abbreviate it. Okay, so if it's going to be Bernie Sanders, that's going to be BS. Oh, sorry, Bernie. No offense, Bernie, but they're your initials. I'm sorry.
That's only right.
Yeah. So now we need to get down to business, and you can have a lot of fun doing this. You just have to get on the phone and call some stations, and in Memphis, if they want you to come by, well, you might go by. Here's the deal. This is how it works for you. We send you the reseller's agreement. You will get 15% every single month of the net profit. And here's how, remember, our dollar is what we pay our expenses from and make a profit from. The other dollar isn't ours. That goes into the prize. But we don't pay any salaries to anybody. So there's none of that. All there is we pay for the long distance, the toll-free number usage, and the electricity that it takes to run the computers, and that's about it. Keep in mind, you can have as many radio stations doing this as you want. You don't even have to necessarily stay in your area. You can go outside your area. If you know somebody in California who's a friend of yours, and you can create a team of people going to radio stations. That's my advice to you. Let's say that now, of the radio stations you've convinced to do this, maybe there's 10 stations, and they're playing 50,000 games a month. That means $50,000 goes to us to pay our bills with, pay you, and hopefully I make some money too, okay? But you get a known amount, 15%, always. Not just for 1 month. You get it as long as they continue to promote Money Melodies for us. And they get all the money from the ads, the radio station. They get all the money from the ads. We don't take any of that.
Well, they still coming off
Yeah, think of
on a good ticket.
Oh God, they're gonna make so much money from that they may not sell advertising anymore. You know, I mean, the way I would do it, I would go to my existing big advertisers, and you know, the ones who I want to keep, because the sales manager knows which ones they want to keep and which ones are just costing them money. I'm from New York, so there's a company called Raymore and Flanagan. And it used to be two separate companies up in, you know, like central and western New York State, not in the city. But they got together a number of years ago, and now they're all throughout the Northeast. And they're a client I would want to keep as an advertiser. But they're going to TV. I lost them. See? See, that's the kind of customer, as a sales manager, I wouldn't want my salesman going out and selling to. I would want to get them back. I would want to plug the Raymore and Flanagan ad right in the beginning of that where Voicemail Central was, because Raymore and Flanagan needs to keep getting new, younger audience. Because if they're only going to old people, which is, it appears, what they're doing now. I mean, on TV, their ads have younger, mixed race, mixed identity people, and that's okay. But the problem is, as a radio station, I'm not getting any of that business. I want that business.
Yeah.
So the only way I can do that is to get business for them, and I get it by putting them in the front of something that is identified across all generations. My radio station, if we're only aimed at whatever demographic it happens to be, 18 to 34, 25 to 49, 35 to 54, whatever it is, I'm going to reach those people in a controlled environment for a minute, or maybe longer, or, you know, shorter. But the whole idea is that I'm going to have some degree of control of them for that short time I have them. And TV, people are sitting there watching it, right? So they see their ads. It's hard to compete with TV. It's really hard to compete. But this competes really well because we have their undivided attention. There's nothing else they're doing when that ad is being played, except they are listening and waiting for how to play the game, or if they've already played the game, the next song.
They're waiting for the next song, yep.
Yep. And if they've got a credit card in there, they don't have to even go through what we did. I had to enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 on the pound sign because I didn't have a credit card in there, and I was only doing a demo game. And by the way, they only get to play 1 or 2. Yeah. Okay. Now imagine that you're the lady who is the program director for XYZZ FM. Okay? I can't think of a Memphis radio station. It's been too long. They probably all changed their names since I was in radio. But
don't get me to tell you because I don't know the name of them.
Let's make believe that you're the person who's responsible for deciding about this. All you need to know is that I'm going to have more people listening, and they're going to listen longer because they're going to want to hear all of the correct answers. And that's something that nobody else is able to do unless they're doing some sort of contest. But this is an ongoing thing. This is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all the time. And it's not on their air. It's on a telephone. So the radio station can direct the listeners to that toll-free number to play the game and help their ratings. Because they're going to listen for the correct answers. And then they're going to go pay the radio station non-traditional revenue. That's what they call it, non-traditional revenue, because it's not based on advertising. It's based on playing a game and hearing an ad off-air. That ad is not taking up their airtime.
They don't even have to really worry about it because it's on like computer generated.
Yeah. It's on something else. It's all computer generated. And they can put whatever advertiser they want on there. And that's what we give them for this. So if it were me, if I was Raymore and Flanagan and I was doing this thing in a small radio station on Long Island or somewhere in Kingston, New York, upstate from New York City, I would want to get an advertiser who understands the value of presenting the same ad on every new call. They could rotate also. Our system is designed to rotate a series of ads for the same advertiser or multiple advertisers. You and I have to sit down and talk, and you know, you're the program director, and I'm the sales manager, and we have to figure out how we're going to do this. You and I being the people who make this decision in the radio station. Now, there might be general manager input, too, but that you don't have to worry about that right now. I'm the sales manager. You're the program director. You have to be concerned about how it sounds on the air. I have to be concerned about how much money we're going to bring in. So we talk about it, and we decide that we're going to try it out because there's no long-term contract or anything. You can do it for a month. So how do we do this? Well, okay. So I get a local furniture dealer, and they're having a heck of a time because TV is really expensive, and the Internet doesn't really work for them, and so on and so forth. Well, radio and local television can work for them. Radio is less expensive than television, but it's getting more and more expensive because everybody who's not using radio, the other advertisers have to pick up the additional expense. It's just the way it is. I mean, they have to make a profit by law, or they get shut down.
Yeah.
So you and I figure out that it's really simple for us. Just every once in a while, we do a promotional message at the end of a song saying, this is Van Halen, this is a correct answer for Money Melodies, VH and the pound sign. Again, that's a correct answer for Money Melodies. Call 888-757-3777. Play a game of Money Melodies right now. The disc jockey can either do that live or it can be a recorded message. It doesn't have to be live.
I would do recorded.
Okay.
Recorded message with it. It don't have to be live all the time.
It can be live sometimes, but not all the time. It doesn't have to be live all the time. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, you'd make a good program director, Dorothy. Yeah, have to keep you in mind when we're talking. For me, see, I know that I can sell that exclusivity per call to my advertisers. I can take 5 or 6 or 10 advertisers, and I can say, for the month of December, we don't know how many people are going to call to play the game just yet. I'm going to give you a flat rate for the first month. Okay, as many ads as we get, you and 6 other advertisers are all going to pay $1,000 a month. And then after that first month, depending on how many games are played, then we're going to change the pricing. So just know that for the first month or 2 months or 3 months or whatever I decide, it's going to be a flat price, and everybody's going to rotate. You know, you can keep doing that. You don't have to make some other fancy, way of calculating the cost. You can just continue to do a flat rate per month, and however many ads get played for players, then that's how many they get. Okay? So my goal, secretly, quietly, is to get $5,000 to $10,000 a month from my advertisers into this game. However I decide to do that, one advertiser exclusively, well, that would be fantastic for that advertiser. But it can be a dozen advertisers, and they're paying whatever they can afford to pay, and we figure that's going to be the price, $500 a month. If somebody drops out, then either you can pick up the difference, everybody else, because you're going to be getting more ads, or we find another advertiser to put back in there.
Yeah.
Okay. So keeping most of it off air is your goal as program director. You don't want a lot of crap cluttering up your air. If you're a program director and you're not a nice person, that's how you would say it.
Yeah.
But if you're a nice person, you'd realize that, wow, this is really helping my sales department, and of course it keeps my job for me because we continue to bring in money, we can promote, we can do all these other things that we wouldn't be able to do if we were out of business. So the program director has something to gain and lose from this, just like the sales manager does, just like the general manager does. They need to stay in business. They need to be making the same amount of money or more every month than they were making last month. So those are the 3 parts. It's the sales manager and the program director sitting down and working out how we're going to do this. And of course, they'll get input from the general manager of the radio station, too, probably. He or she will end up making the final decision.
The final decision, yep.
Yeah. But sometimes they all work together, and, sometimes the general manager goes with the program director, or sometimes the general manager goes with the sales manager. Depends on what the situation is. But, yeah, it's going to be a team effort there. So clearly, we have to make it really easy for them to decide to do it because it doesn't cost them anything. It's free.
when you make something, saying something is free to them, more than likely they're gonna really try to jump at it.
They also might not believe you. Okay, what's the catch? There is no catch.
Yeah, I always try to think of the catch when it's something free.
Yeah, but this is not one of those things. This is one of those things that there is no catch. It's free. You can make money from it. You cannot have any of our money because otherwise we can't do it. We have to make a profit doing this, and don't deny us making a profit because that would be unfair. I know that the radio stations, all they care about is making money. So, yeah, ultimately, I know that there's a lot I've told you. But it's real. Think about. Yeah, it's a lot to think about, but it's really three simple things. It's make believe you're the program director and you have to preserve the good sound that you have on the air. Make believe that Jerry is the sales manager and his only job is to bring in profit. But he has to coordinate and cooperate with you. Because otherwise, you can just say to the general manager, we're not doing this. It's going to trash up the way we sound. But you also have to make it clear, this is going to be the decision maker right here. You have to make sure they understand that this is not gambling. And you also have to make sure that when they consult their attorney, here's what it is. You want to write these 3 words down? Mm-hmm. This is what a lottery is. A lottery is gambling. But this is what a lottery is. You ready? This is radio station nightmares every night. I used to lay awake worrying about it. Prize, chance, and consideration, which is just another term for payment. But you have to use that term because radio station people will go, oh, she knows what she's talking about. Prize, chance, and consideration. Memorize those 3 words because when they come up, you're going to need to say something, wait a minute, there's no chance involved here. Any one of those 3 things you remove makes it not gambling. And you can look it up. In fact, you should look it up to satisfy yourself. But when you do, that's it. That's the deal. That's why FanDuel brought it to the public's attention. My game is not that. There's no way around knowing the answer. If you don't know the answer, you don't win. I don't care how many games are being played at the same time. It doesn't matter because if you don't know the answer, you lose. If you know the answer, however, then you win everything that has accumulated since the last winner.
Oh, that's good, though. You never know how much accumulated.
You never know, but, if a lot of people are winning, it'll be less. But if a lot of people are not winning, it would be more. But we do not differentiate. In fact, what we do is the songs that we get from the radio stations, we make sure that everybody knows what they are.
Yeah.
Our feeling is that everybody would know who they are. They would know who the artist is. They might not know the exact name. So we don't put any songs in there that are confusing. Like Gloria Estefan. Which Gloria Estefan? Which group? Jimi Hendrix. Which group? The Jimi Hendrix Experience, a Band of Gypsies. Phil Collins. He's been in like 8 bands. We're not trying to fool him. We're not trying to make it hard for him. In fact, we're trying to make it easy for them. Even if they only win back what they put up, they'll keep playing.
Yeah.
They keep listening to the station for the correct answers. All those things come together. Now, most of the people you'd be talking to, and as much as I love radio, and I hate to even say this, but most of the people you'd be talking to will not understand this. So they're going to go, no, we're not interested. Because they're embarrassed to say that they don't understand what you're talking about. So your challenge would be to make it incredibly simple for them to understand. And the way you do that is by demonstrating it. You just call the number, the toll-free number, and you demonstrate it for them right there on your phone. If you're talking to them on the phone, you say, hold on a minute, I'm going to 3-way us into the game, and I'm going to do a demonstration for you. Can you hang on a second? And they'll say, sure. Where it says add a call, you press that, it puts them on hold, and it allows you to make that call to our game. The way I do it is I count to 5, even before I hear anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I connect the call. And you might get a little chopped off welcome to Money Melodies, instead of the whole welcome. But that's okay, because there's about a 5-second delay to get connected. And then you just go through the game just like I did with you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In other words, I'll put your cell phone in our system so that you can play as many demo games as you want for your clientele. In a row, I mean. For you, so you can do demo after demo after demo with the same person, just like we did. In fact, we didn't get any, right?
Oh, no, we didn't get any, right?
Yeah.
I knew one of them, but I just didn't want to come off my tongue.
Yeah. And so, you can do as many as you want until you get one right. And then what you'll hear is the estimate of what you would have won if you got it right.
Oh, okay.
You would have won $60. Enter a credit card number to blah, 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 or you can just demo again. Okay? So it actually estimates based on the number of people playing, because we track all the errors. This is all big data. And so what people get right, people get wrong. We just want to know what they are so that we make sure that our prize is the right amount. Because that's constantly being checked to make sure that if someone says, well, then I win more. Well, okay, here's how much money went in. Here's how many right answers there were. Here are how many wrong. I mean, if we get investigated or something, we have all the data. And they can sit right there with us and test it if they want. So, anyway,
say you don't have the information back there.
We've got to have it all there, because the last thing in the world I want is, after creating this, if you'll excuse the expression, creating this brilliant game, is to have somebody accuse me of cheating.
Yeah.
No way. The reason I haven't done it before was because everybody was whining and crying about radio going to hell. And I just couldn't even talk to them about it because they weren't listening. They were wondering where their next job was going to be. And then things settled down. It took years, but they settled down somewhat. People want to be in radio because they think they're in the entertainment business.
Mm-hmm.
They don't stop to realize they're in the advertising business. And by the way, just like Google.
I thought you got to be out like the singers and stuff. I thought that's the entertainment business.
That's right. The movies. The movies is the entertainment
the movies
business.
And stuff like that. I ain't thinking when you go into the radio, I always thought that was, like you said, advertising. Because you advertising other people's music and
their businesses and everything.
Businesses and all that kind of stuff when you're on radio. And talking about stuff. Everything is just news and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's radio.
Yeah.
That's what I've always thought it was.
Yeah.
You never thought it was entertainment.
and by the way, television is exactly like radio. The newspapers are exactly like radio. They're all in the advertising business. Google is just like radio. They're in the advertising business too. That's all. That's the only business. That's the only place they get revenue from. I mean, unless they start manufacturing an electric car, I guess. But still, I mean, Google, as we know at Google.com, is an advertising venue. These are the things that the people you're talking to may or may not understand. So you have to give them a little bit of a wide berth. And the sales manager knows what business they're in. And so does the general manager. And, of course, the program director does too, but she's dealing with talent. The program director is dealing with those DJs and stuff. And so in her world or his world, they're kind of in half in each world. But if they do a lousy job, then they'll be out of a job, frankly.
Correctly.
Program directors get changed more than anybody else. So you have to treat them with kindness because they could be gone in a minute if they screw up too badly. And general managers don't like program directors who have a great, big, huge attitude. They want them to keep the air talent in check. They really need to manage them because some of those disc jockeys are wild and crazy, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure are.
So, you have enough to think about?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, Dorothy, thank you very much for listening to me.
No problem. I learned a lot while I was listening.
That's the secret, I think. If it's something you want to do, let's continue our discussion about it, and I'll send you the reseller agreement. It's a very brief agreement. No tricky language or anything. It's just plain and simple. If you want to bring other people into this with you, you take care of them. They're your people, and we don't have anything to do with them. As long as they're working for you, then you can have people going out and doing this and have as many people as you want. You'll figure out how to split up the 15%. It can get to be a sizable amount of money. Just understand that. It doesn't sound like much, 15% of $1, but when there's tens of thousands of games, wow. I mean, it can really end up being a lot of money.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye.